Welcome to another News Game Plus. I'm Dermie, and I'm here with a man who's going to run off and buy a Switch as soon as we've finished recording this. New Game Plus executive producer Jason O'Callaghan.
That is true.
You're excited?
I don't think it's an exciting launch, really. Like, I mean, it's got Mario Kart and stuff. I'm realistically, we've got a glitch on Sunday, and I did say there'd be Switch 2s there.
But this is
I need to get Switch 2s for glitch 2s. Yeah,
you Switch for the glitch.
Yeah.
So we rehearsed that better, probably.
Yeah.
So the no, but that's so. But this is a midnight launch. I haven't heard of a midnight launch since the old Halo days. Remember Game Mania had one. Remember
Costa, yeah,
and Marty before that. I remember because I still know Marty. I haven't seen Costa for a while, but I still have a bit to do with Marty, who sold it to Costa. But you remember the midnight launch? You did that as level 3.
Yes, many years ago now.
Ah, that was a long. I haven't heard midnight launch is back.
That was in the old car park of Beastland. That's how long ago we're talking.
Yeah,
it was an open air car park.
I don't think that bit exists anymore.
Nope, go on. It's all underground now. So
I used to go there every night driving home from work, and I'd say to my wife, "I'm dropping in a Game Mania," and because I mumble and slim my words, she always just go Game Mania, hey.
Nice. She got
it's not that,
you, bro. She got you.
Yeah, don't thank me for that. It's allowed these days.
It's one of those things, right? Like she's got to wonder. It's like, would I rather him go to a pub or would I rather him go to the video game shop? Which is more sad and an indictment of our marriage? Like,
also, if someone's going to cheat, would you rather was straight or gay? Anyway, that's another story.
Hey man, well, what you guys did in the Young Libs is not my business.
After your advice to all our listeners last week. As many or as few dicks as you want.
So I don't think it's a bad strategy.
Well, it's a strategy now.
Yeah. Speaking of, I mean, how many?
By the way, we had an 80% dislike ratio.
Really?
I was curious. I had a look because at the time I thought this could be interesting how this is received. But yeah, we had 80% dislike on that one.
Is that good or bad? I don't know.
It's actually
as in like 80% of people disliked it.
We normally run 80% liked.
Okay.
Yeah, our listeners are good. Thanks, listeners. You're all good. But the no, because our worst one was like 60%.
Yeah, right.
And that was the one where I said we have to talk about Oblivion, and we didn't talk about Oblivion
at
until
all,
an hour in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, "Where the fuck's Oblivion?"
Yeah, nice.
So we do get a bit of that because I only say one topic. I say, we got to talk because you can't say in the title everything.
Yeah, that's true.
And we do talk about a lot of things.
So speaking of sucking as many dicks as you need to, how many you reckon John Pizzuto is going to have to do to make up $2.3 million? I have no idea. Is he buying a Switch too? He's getting 2 of them. He's bougie. No, because Moira Deeming sent him his bankruptcy letter. He's got 7 days to respond. It's like we're quite literally seeing the death of the Victorian Liberal Party.
Oh, really?
Moira Deeming. Thanks to Australia's Bobit. Yeah.
Oh, God. Australia's Bobit. You'll be
check Discord.
Talking about it. So no, well, I did not know that. I haven't been paying much attention to politics. Because I figured everyone had sort of once Labor won everything.
No, I mean, so this is the funny part of it is like obviously you had the coalition break up and then get back together 4 days later, and then you had Dorina Cox has left the Greens Party. He's now a Labor senator.
I do like me kids do then go hee hee.
Yeah. And then the last Bradfield was the last seat that was still in question, and it turns out the Libs lost that too.
Yeah, and Tim Wilson only won by 170 votes.
Yeah, so if you were in the Goldstein electorate and you didn't vote,
there were several thousand informals.
That was 2.7 thousand, I believe.
Yeah, yes. Anyway, we're by the way, you have to accept credit for that because New Game Plus are kingmakers. Remember we did the Serious Business and we got Fiona Patton across the line. We interviewed her, and a couple of weeks later she got to Senate and Victoria and interviewed Tim Wilson as well. So that's your fault.
And so it's one of those things. It was she was in the 3-person race for the last spot of the Victorian Senate, and because unfortunately One Nation was slightly ahead of her, her preferences went to Labor, which put the 3rd Labor senator in. So,
yeah, it's she's smart.
Sad because Fiona Patton was again, like I say, I'm a pretty staunch Labor stooge, but she was my one vote in the Senate, and she deserved it. So
highly intelligent, interesting decor in her house when we interviewed her.
Yeah,
there was pictures of private parts all over the place, and I remember Prospect was trying to frame me in the interview so that there wasn't like a giant picture of vagina behind me.
So there was only one dick in shot. Yeah,
it's just it was equal opportunity in that house. All the decorations everywhere. Yeah. But no, a highly intelligent person. Should be back in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Politics.
Yeah, and I've said that. Like I say, as much as it's nice to have a 3rd Labor senator and the lady who ran for the third spot, she her electorate got dissolved in the what is it, the redistribution. She ran for the Senate. She got third. That's nice, but like I say, if it's the cost of someone like a Fiona Patton, I think that's a loss to us all.
No, well, she was smart. We spoke to a couple of politicians. Remember Jason Clare, Ludlam, Tim Wilson, and Fiona Patton was, I reckon, the smartest out of all of them. So yeah. Anyway, hang on one sec.
He's gonna cough again. That's every time you hear him go silent. That's what he's doing. He's dying. Something about this corner kills him.
Yeah, well, normally I'm being eaten by mosquitoes.
That's true.
True. But they're trying to give me
malaria. They don't touch my cancer blood. So
yeah, well, yeah, because it's spoiled.
Yeah.
Actually, hey, mosquitoes, I've been vaccinated.
Yeah, I was
stay away.
Yeah. I was saying the Red Cross,
pure blood.
The Red Cross won't take my blood either. So yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Do you want to do gaming stuff?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well, so yeah, okay. Well, let's get back to midnight launch. I reckon it's cool to have a midnight launch or something. Because I haven't heard of them for ages, and I remember how exciting they were when like Halo 3 came out. That was a big one, right? So yeah, what are you expecting for this one? You just turn up. Is it going to be a queue? Like, what do you reckon?
We don't know. Like I said, we're going to
be cool.
Yeah, we're heading off there about half an hour or 45 minutes as we record.
Oh, so this podcast goes for what, 45 minutes?
Yeah, literally, it's like once I hang up, bang. All right, boys, let's get in the car. Off we go.
Cool. So I might be doing the last 15 minutes of the podcast, mate. I'll keep a wriggle on then. So. What else have you been playing? Just quickly.
Lots of Helldivers. We saved Super Earth. China and America teaming up together to save us from the Illuminate threat, which was wonderful. So that was wonderful. Yeah. So basically, the two main cities that were left. There was 3 cities left halfway through the invasion. It went for like 7 days of the Illuminate, and it was Equality on Sea, which is basically Shanghai. There was York Supreme, which is New York, and then there was Prosperity City, which was like the capital of Super Earth. And Prosperity City and Equality on Sea were the last 2 to be saved. And we pushed back the Illuminate threat thanks to the Chinese divers, and lots more Chinese playing the game now. It's interesting playing in lobbies. But I will say one thing: considering they've come to the game 1 year late into the game. They still follow the polite rules. Like they'll listen to you, they'll follow the pings, they'll follow the instructions. But it's still a very, very fun, very good game.
Well, video games have done something that the real world politicians cannot do. The Chinese and America uniting to save the planet.
To be fair, it was reported on news in China as well. I think one of the news stations picked it up, which was interesting. So, but yeah, no. Other than that, I've just been playing fighting games.
The Yanks wouldn't have mentioned him.
No, not at all.
Imagine on Fox. Imagine on Fox News, they'd be like, the Chinese tried to stop us.
We did it by ourselves, and then they just play "We Are the Champions" in the background.
World champion.
Yeah. It's like the World Series of baseball. It's like, hey, the World Series guys just play with American teams.
But just some Canadians go as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's been great. Bam obviously was last week, great success.
Excellent interview by Dan.
On the ABC.
He handled that really well. I don't know the other guy, but he was really good as well.
So when I heard there was
okay, cool.
He calls himself that, don't worry.
No, I know. I just got it because I knew the voice.
Yeah.
So yes, on Discord I just went, that's who it is.
Man, yeah.
Oh, there you go. So I don't know people's real names.
And so, so when I heard Dan was going in, I'm like, oh crap. I said to him, I'll make myself available. And then I heard Brown Man was going, I'm like, it's fine. They did. Brown Man will cover his flank. So yeah.
Yeah. No, the two journos on the ABC were cringy. I mean ABC for start, and also when they're talking video games, they were looking for opportunities to denigrate it. Yeah. But I thought Dan and Brown Man, anyone listening is going to think, what the fuck he said? But that's his tag. I thought they handled it so well, and they controlled the interview really well, very professional, and they got the message across great.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, no, it was very good.
Yeah.
It was on the Friday morning of BAM, and then just been busy packing up, and so it's just been, that's what I've been doing. I assume you've just been playing Oblivion, or?
Yes, I actually just because I had a few gems. I've just basically been grinding spell casting and that.
Gotcha.
Which basically means just staring like bleary eyed and screen,
and then just throwing spells. Like you should look
holding down the spell button and then waiting for it to recharge, holding it down for 2 hours straight, then going up 25 levels so you can get a higher spell and do it again.
When you get a chance, you should definitely play Avowed. I still think Avowed was really good. Was worth my time. It'd be interesting to see how you handle the moral dilemmas of Avowed.
I'm actually getting kind of bored with Oblivion.
Yeah.
There's a point, in a game when you actually do max yourself out to a point where I haven't finished the main quest because I finished that last time, so I kind of don't care. So this time I was having fun with the spells and stuff and more of the Daedric artifacts. Because I think last time I rushed through it a little bit, but I am getting a little bit. So I'll be looking for something else. I'll try Avowed out.
Try Avowed. Like I would say honestly, the combat in Avowed is a better combat system. And it's made me interested enough to go back in time. So I've gone back and started playing the old games.
Okay, cool. Oh,
okay. I literally just got a message from Liam as we were recording this saying, "Did Dan not trust you to go on the ABC?" I'm like, "Well, now." I actually believe
the talk about Bam turns into a 2-hour guy ranting about Labor.
Listen, right? They weren't even gamers, and you hired them, and then you had people writing their reviews for. Oh no, sorry, we're talking about different things on the ABC.
Pilot Wings is great.
Yeah, good Pilot Wings.
What else I got here?
Anyway, no, one more to just flag there. Oh, what was I going to say? I can't remember. Must have been good.
Switch to ABC. Dan was on.
Yeah.
It was a great interview. It'll be.
Oh no, tomorrow. I'm actually got an interview with The Age. Believe it or not.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
About K trucks. It's in my little truck.
Yeah.
They're doing an article about them.
Okay, well, should be more of them because the big fuck ass stupid American ones need to be banned.
Literally what he said. He goes, I goes because I said, look. He messaged in the group, I'll be up front, like if anyone asks my sources. He said, hey, I'm interested in the trucks, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, some of the things raised in the group were valid, like we don't want a hit piece on them, you know what I mean? Like we've stayed on the radar. No, I just think they're an interesting counterpoint to the Ford Rangers and the giant trucks of this world. I said, well, you've got the right attitude for me, and you're not the Herald Sun. So,
well, anybody who's seen the Simpsons episode with the tall guy that hopped out of the
find something comical about my appearance while I'm
Jason,
my automobile.
Jason does like driving his little Japanese truck around and road raging with people. When they get cut, he hops out of it. Yeah. A bit like that, except not so much tall as just big. Giant bear
again. I told you I was in the MX5.
Pointing, hair waving everywhere.
I was in the MX5 and pulled up at the set of lights.
You do like small cars.
And the guy, he was a tradie. He gave me a bit of the old, the gay F slur, and he got caught at the set of lights. So I pulled up and said, "Sorry, son, did you have something to say?" Knocked on his window. He didn't want to say anything anymore. Went straight through the red light. Just got away from me. Yeah, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that stereotype about cars compensating for things. You drive the smallest cars you can get. So I'd like to point out I drive a hybrid.
I can hear the breath. I drive a hybrid.
So you drive tiny whiny cars, and the giant man hops out in the road rage incidents, and you've got to film it.
Yeah.
It would make a good reality show.
Just for a GoPro. Yeah,
have these middle-aged men panic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so cool. Well, that's enjoy that interview. That's actually not gaming, but have fun. Can you hijack it into talking about Labor for 2 hours?
I mean, it's been the only time Labor's been covered positively in The Age for a long time. So yeah,
it would be, yes. Cool. Hey, I complained on the podcast. I won't take long on this. I complained on a podcast a while ago about Reach. Remember I said how they put in like American propaganda. They did it with Silo. Have you seen Silo?
No, but I've heard about it only recently on.
I've been enjoying it. They changed it enough from the books for the TV show that it's actually both are really good, right?
Yeah.
But in the books it was about nanobots causing it, because it was written in 2011. Remember we cared about nanobots before AI. I wonder what it'll be after AI when we discover that's not real as well. But anyway, they did the same thing there. At the end of it, they had to throw in a country starting with I. Rhymes with ran as the thing. It's like
I was saying the flock of seagulls country.
They changed it to fit their current little target, and it's like it just annoys me every time. I just want to have
it's. I mean, again, keep in mind too, if you do have the American military helicopters or whatever in your thing, they have veto approval on your script, and you don't get the items unless you.
That's Mission Impossible. They piked. Have you seen that yet?
No, not the new one.
I saw they piked. They even forgot the first one of them. They even forgot everything they did in Dead Reckoning.
I watched Dead Reckoning. I watched it in a hotel room.
Yeah, it was all right, but it looked like it was setting up something good. The final Reckoning, that could have been made in 1980s.
Right.
It was just. It piked, it got stupid, and it just became an action fest. And I don't mind that. That's what Tom Cruise does.
Yeah.
But the idea of an AI just got forgotten.
Yeah, gotcha. And that was a whole crux of the Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, and I reckon they did that. I reckon when they said, "Can we use your aircraft carriers and your submarine?" They said, "Yep, but you got to take all this shit out because we don't want people knowing."
Yeah.
Which is interesting considering what happened recently in Russia.
Yeah,
all the drones.
Drones. Yeah.
So yeah, they piked on Mission Impossible. It was disappointing. It was good action, but disappointing. How are we going for time?
15 minutes. That's all right. It's not too bad.
Okay, preamble. Let's get in some gamey stuff. Bungie has confirmed that it was unauthorized use of anti-reels graphic assets. We talked about that last week, but they blamed a former employee, former artist. They blamed them, said that won't happen again. That is the lamest shit ever, Bungie. That really is, because just saying, "Oh, it was an employee doesn't work anymore." No, that's a problem that has to go all the way up.
Yeah.
And their boss and their boss and their boss. That it wasn't just you can't. I doubt. I've never worked at a major game studio, but I doubt you can just turn up one day, put your artwork in a game, and nobody else knows or approves it.
If I was the boss of Sony, and obviously Sony gets control of Bungie in September, I would be demanding some pinky fingers in the mail, because there's just no way that should have made it that far without going up the chain. There's just no way some art director let that.
They just said it. They just said a creator, it's just like an artist. No, that's bullshit. That didn't happen. No way, Bungie. Don't do that. That is just they're trying to say that they'll take care of anti-real, but just to say it was a former employee. No, there's no way in a studio of that kind.
Yeah.
Because I know from general software development, things go through reviews and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no way one person turned up, did the entire artwork for the game on their own, stolen, and then left the company.
And if they did, it's a damning indictment of process. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those cases where both situations are terrible.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was shit. And you got to say, well, why are video game budgets growing so much if they're just going to steal everything anyway? But that's another point. Witcher 4 revealed. Now, oh man.
Well, I haven't watched it, though. I did see the clip.
Okay, cool. Well, it was basically an Unreal Engine tech demo.
Yes,
and it has been announced since that it was not gameplay.
Right.
So
it rendered.
When I saw it, I went, "Oh, this is GTA 6 level of bullshit."
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on at the moment, but we're just being shown stuff. I think it's because they're trying to say the next bunch of games, because it's been a bit of a lull.
Yeah.
Are going to be, a generational leap. I doubt it is.
I just don't think there's any more generational leaps to be made outside of quantum computing. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think we have another generational leap in us.
Well, quantum computing is only really good for breaking encryption anyway. That's what they're so desperate to, because they just want to go through all this stuff.
Well, I mean, imagine the first major power to do it, it suddenly owns the world, right?
Yeah, we're pretending China's hadn't already done it.
Yeah. Yes.
all tech battles at the moment are Chinese working in America versus Chinese working in China. So yeah, look, the only big change I think that will happen, and this will be AI, but it'll only be about game worlds.
Yes.
About how, and when you play Oblivion, you got I can't remember the engine name off the top of my head, but you know how Gamebryo, yeah. So you know how that's all the citizens are doing their own things. Yeah. They're walking around, they've got their own schedules, and when you talk to NPCs, they have their things. Now, I actually think that's the only real big change we're going to see.
Well, I think that has always been a better use of your resources.
Yeah.
This is the thing. You want to talk about these games. I would rather you have slightly worse graphics if it means that you are capitalizing on making a game world more involving, more interesting, more unique. All these things. It is a far better use of your time. I don't give a shit how good it looks. I don't give a shit.
And conversations will be better. And there's a potential, I'd say, where you can, instead of choosing from set options, like in Mass Effect, where you got your good, bad, and smart ass,
and which never quite fit what you want to do.
Well, you can. I can see the evolution of that being you can just talk in a microphone and have a conversation with an NPC, right? And that I think will be really cool. But I can't see. The graphics can only go so far. I can't see there being a big change out of that. Now, AI will be used for part in the development process for levels and that. I don't think that'll work, because I think human to actually do. I agree, especially in a shooter, to do levels.
Well, I mean, human absurdity is different from machine absurdity, right? You know what I mean?
Well, so I don't think there'll be. I think they're trying to pretend there's going to be a generational leap with the graphics at the moment, and they're doing Unreal tech demos.
Yeah.
I don't know what GTA 6 was done in, but it turns out the Witcher 4 reveal was really a tech demo, and they have kind of admitted that it's not gameplay. It wasn't showing gameplay. Now, it looked fantastic.
Yes.
But at this point, I think they're just trying to
belling the cat a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it would be a disaster for CD Projekt Red to do something like that considering how bad Cyberpunk
Was
launched.
received.
I think that'd be bad. I think when they launch Witcher 4, they need to make sure that none of these Cyberpunk shenanigans happen. I think that's the risk to them. Everyone will still buy it and play it and love it, but it really does hurt your brand a bit.
I agree.
So what else we got? Okay, switch to copy protection. How are we going for time? You got to run yet?
Time, no.
You switch. Cool. Trying to get through it before he just runs it. You just hear like the Simpsons, and you hear the car door slam.
Hey. That's a professional kid. God.
Yeah, that's not what I do. Remember I did that interview with that poor lady, the Fiona Patton-Toll's interview, and I froze. I couldn't remember what to say and just wasted the episode. So I feel bad. I should apologize to her one day. That wasn't what a professional does.
Yeah.
And here I am rambling. So Switch 2, the Switch 2 copy protection. Now hackers have been into the Switch 2 already.
Yeah, as soon as one hit early, the offer came in I'll send you $10,000. It comes in the mail, and I will send you $10,000. You know what I mean? Like you just know that was going to happen. You know, like it's just
Yeah, and look, the hackers want to do it because they want to be first. And
they want to do it before there's like updates and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's also amongst each other, I don't think companies get it, but amongst each other for hackers, there's an enormous amount of pride and boasting.
Absolutely. Everyone remembers GeoHots, right? You know what I mean? Like,
so they're trying to be the first. Now, okay, this is what we know so far from what hackers have revealed. So the MIG switch bricks it.
Yeah,
Don't put that. That's the cartridge, the cartridge you put in a switch to put any game on. That breaks it. Don't put a MIG switch in if you got one. Okay, now they actually have some sort of circuitry in there that detects voltage changes.
Yeah.
The voltage change can come from just prodding the chips. Now, when you're trying to work out what the chips do, like
when you're tracing a like a mark, basically.
Yeah, you're basically putting effectively
probes.
How would you describe? Your probes, people, right? And you're just trying to see what signals are going through, and that gives you an idea what's actually going on.
What's sending what data to what chip, and what chip what part of what chip is sending that data elsewhere.
But the moment it detects a voltage change in its flash or its RAM, it will brick itself.
Wow.
So the moment now. This is something I think dangerous for Nintendo. And Nintendo is now run by an accountant, not a gamer or a developer anymore.
Appropriately named Bowser, but
yeah. No, there's the Japan guy.
Oh yes. Yep.
He's an accountant. So look, I did like the Bowser name. He was born to run it. So look, I think the problem here is that voltages change in electronics over time anyway.
Yes. They'll never maintain their peak floors yet.
Yeah. So the tolerances you'll need to detect somebody trying to measure a chip just with the change, because obviously when you put a probe on a chip, a little bit of the electricity goes out through that probe. It's a tiny little bit, not much. And so if they can detect that the margin on their voltage detection is really small. Now, that is, I think, down the track in a couple of years' time, could have a lot of bricked switches if they don't have some way of turning that off in the next year or two. So 5 years' time.
I wonder if that'd be like the first firmware update. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be hilarious if they mess the firmware update up and it just bricks everyone.
Look, I think they're playing with fire. That's what I say, because the voltages on a motherboard can change anyway. Anybody that's ever played with a CPU. knows.
Well, I mean, is it going to be affected by having the charger in the bottom or the top? You know, what I mean, while you play it, you know, what I mean, that would have an impact. But if there's a power surge or something like that,
moisture, corrosion, they
can
all do it.
Absolutely,
yeah. No, they're playing with fire. So the voltage, if it detects a voltage change in some of its chips, it will brick itself. Apparently, in that one permanently, and you have to return it to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Now, in the Switch, they're claiming at the moment that it has a what would you call it? Built in, it knows why it bricked itself.
Right, it's got like a code, like a failure code, an error code.
So you send it back so you put a couple of probes on,
and
it knows. You have to send it back to Nintendo to get it unbricked, and they know. Right, so that's an interesting one. They've gone. I think they've gone to too much trouble, but they're desperate to keep people out of this thing, right? So it's got its own reporting to why it got bricked. Now, if you do need to unbrick it, you can unbrick it through SD card with something provided by Nintendo. Problem is that can't be done offline.
Right.
So what that does is that will then go to Nintendo's servers and grab the firmware from there. So you can't then inject your own payload,
Gotcha.
which is going to make it really, really, really hard there to put in custom firmware.
Yeah. So I mean, that'll be probably the attack vector they'll go for, spoofing the URL or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So well, it depends what copy protection are there, but yes. So there's a couple of things there. Basically at this point, all the traditional ways they would use to get into hardware, Nintendo has been. They've been clever with it. I think too clever. I think a lot of this stuff is nice, but
a little bit too clever by half, right? Like, yeah.
Well, you introduce potential problems down the track.
Yeah.
The voltage one worries me a lot. It really does. It concerns me because, like I said, anybody who's ever done any playing with their CPU settings or even overclocking of a CPU, they know the voltages change. There's margins for these things.
Well, and again, like I've been watching a lot of clips of Retro 6. I don't know if you know Retro 6, the guy that fixes all the units in England and stuff. And like, if someone like him who knows really what they're doing has mapped out chips and stuff like that, if that's the kind of talent we're talking about, has noticed this problem, then we have issues. Not to say he's done it because he's worked mainly on retro stuff, but it'd be interesting to see in the wash in the next day or two how that changes. So
the people playing around with this stuff they're smart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's it. That's the switch to copy. Well, general protection to try and make sure that nobody releases a custom firmware.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Which you can try when you get yours in half an hour or so.
There is, yeah.
Cool. All right, a gamer. Here's a nice feel good story.
Jesus, I feel good stuff.
A gamer in Tennessee alerted police in California when they were playing an online game with somebody, and that somebody talked about bombing their school. So they alerted the cops from Tennessee. How far away is Tennessee from California?
Pretty far. It'd be like we're doing it from
Queensland to Victoria?
Adelaide to Sydney kind of thing.
Okay, cool. Two boring places. Hi, Luke.
Yeah.
so anyway, nothing else to do there. Anyway, so yeah, it turns out the people that were talking about it, because a lot of people say a lot of things online, were actually planning to kill their parents and run off and bomb their school. The police found bombs and everything. So there's a feel-good gamer story. Gamers get blamed for a lot of things. Technically, the people that are going to do the bombing were gamers, but the person turning them in were gamers as well.
Oh, yeah. Of the 100 times you spot people, once out of those 100 times, they deserve it.
There you go. Well, let's just go with that one because you're only as good as your last game. So gamers are heroes right now. So now what else we got here? Your kitchen now gets another Microsoft appliance.
Oh yeah.
So I have a Microsoft fridge. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
for that. I also have a Microsoft toaster.
I wonder if you reckon the toaster's all right though?
We haven't toasted on it yet. It's sitting next to the fridge, on the desk.
So someone used their toaster and they reckon that they've had okay success with it, unlike the fridge, which is shit ass.
Well, it'll keep cans kind of cold. It's not free. It's not free.
It's not. It's not.
But anyway, so now you can buy, at least in Canada, an Xbox bagged milk jug.
So
it's not really an Australian thing.
Do you know the bagged milk thing? So Canada bags their milk. When you go to Canada, you get milk comes in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
So that's I learned that from Tom Green.
I learned that watching this very story like about an hour ago.
Nice. So that's a classic. Yeah, he used to cut jugs of milk open, like bags of milk open, and pour them on people in interviews and stuff.
And spill it.
That's the thing.
Don't they do that in India and just leave it out and call it like ghee or something?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. So anyway, so you get a bagged one. Yeah. So basically a milk jug. So an Xbox milk jug to round out your Xbox themed kitchen.
Just remember, everything's an Xbox.
Well, that's true. That's true. So wait till you get Game Pass on your bagged milk jug.
Bagged milk. Yeah.
It just sounds really weird to say.
Cortana go-to milk jug. Yeah. Cortana pouring bowl.
You know some variations of that have been said.
Oh yeah.
All right. Talking Microsoft and talking to Cortana. Did you see Microsoft-backed AI startup Builder.ai collapsed? Microsoft had put in $1.5 billion into this AI thing. Turned out that it was Indians, cheap Indians, just basically doing the AI.
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying that. It was like Builder all Indians. That's the AI.
The AI is actually Indians, all Indians. Yeah, a few variations. But that is, so the AI is a scam, and we're going to work that out one day. So, but anyway, at the moment, everyone's in love with it.
They're going to work it out after they fire everyone and then get their jobs done half-assed and then scramble.
I'm hearing
after CEOs take their $50 million bonuses and fuck off into the distance.
Okay, I'm hearing from programmers and creatives out of America those stories.
Yeah.
Creatives are saying that the companies that have sacked everyone decide to do AI, they can't change the AI work. They have to go back and do it each time.
Redo it, yeah.
Yeah. So one thing you get with customers, they'll say, in Photoshop, like, I'll move this tree 2 centimeters away, and then together, but they can't really do that with the AI work, so they have to regenerate it. And then every time they regenerate, the AI just decides to do something different.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not the same, and that's causing friction between them and customers.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a problem that creatives are finding. Now that we'll see how long that lasts, because there's a lot of effort being put in to get rid of artists.
Yeah.
It's weird. The business community hates creatives because they're different mindset.
Yeah.
They're a little bit different
and a little bit flaky.
yeah,
and a little bit you can't quite put them under the iron.
And your average manager and CEO, they don't understand them, so they hate them. And they do. They hate programmers too, because I'll always argue programming is a creative job field, as well. It's not like art, but it's creative. And basically what you've got is you've got the neurotypical kind of person hates neurodivergent people.
Yeah.
There's this with a passion. And it's always a bit
Look
of
at
a
you going all 2025.
What's that?
Look at you going all 2025.
No,
Neurotypicals and neurodivergents. Damn.
Oh yeah, no,
Recording out of Nam. Yeah,
it's words I hear at home. So it's always not about that. But that's the best way to describe it. Right?
No, I understand.
Normies would be the word I would use. Normies hate creatives.
Yeah, and anyone in that rigid structure who can adhere to that rigid structure and succeed is not the kind of person who's going to understand or give creatives the rope they need to.
The people that decided work starts at 9 a.m. They're the problem with the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Because to them, I've had arguments with managers, right? I used to work at a bank. I used to argue with a manager all the time. He'd say, "Oh, you got to be in by 9." I say, "Oh, I get 9:30 because the train's a bit late." He goes, "Well, then you're not getting work done." I say, "Well, I'll stay half an hour late." He goes, "Oh, it's not the same." It is. That's how time works. Have a look at the clock. Whiz the hands around.
When Henry Ford was putting together Model Ts, I understand the value in having strict
because you're relying on everybody.
Correct.
And if only a couple of people rely on, they can wait half an hour. And so he'd say, "Well, if you want to get a lot of work done, turn up at 8."
Yeah.
And I go, well, what if I turn up at 11 and go home at 7
or 8? Yeah.
Right. And he go, "Oh, no, you don't get much work done then." I go, "Well, yeah, I do. I get shitloads done. I'm a programmer." And he just couldn't wrap his head around. I never understood. He just couldn't wrap his head around the idea that 8 hours is 8 hours and whenever.
As soon as I see 5 o'clock on the thing, I get more work done because I know no one's going to call me, interrupt me, interrupt what I'm doing. I'm just going to get stuff done and it's just going to happen. And that's why I've been the night owl that I've always been.
In any creative field, they know that the work comes in waves anyway. Yeah. There's no 9 to 5. Anyway, so anyway, you got these dickheads who have got 8 1-hour meetings per day, and they just can't understand what else works. Anyway, they're the ones that want to replace creatives with AI, and they're desperate to, and because they just don't understand them. They don't want to understand them. They'd rather they just fucked off and died. Right? Yeah. And so I'm a big fan of those people. I used to work for them. That's why I work on my own. So anyway, where's I going with this? So Microsoft lost 1.5 billion on one of these AI things. That's going to happen more. Also announced around the same time, Microsoft is bringing Copilot AI to the Xbox app. So so you can talk to the Xbox app now. How useful is that? There's going to be some Indian on the other side.
Someone who's had to set up 2 Microsoft systems in the last week. The Windows 11 setup is absolute dog shit, and I hate it, and I want it to die. And the idea that I have to sign in to a Microsoft account to run your platform is stupid. And if you're going to make me do that, at least make it easy to do. You can say what you want about Apple, but it's like real quick, gets it done, and it's over. You know what I mean?
They do that sort of stuff worked out, but Apple always had a creative sort of bent to it. Right now, you got somebody waving there who wants to go buy a Switch. Is that what's going on?
I'm going in a second.
You have to go right before you run off. Did I have any other stories? Gwent from Witcher's coming out as an actual tabletop game.
Nice, which it should have done a while ago.
Yeah, it's coming as a computer game. I actually probably expect to play that the next TGX.
Yeah,
it's being organised right now. I saw. EA cancelled the Black Panther open world game and closed the studio making it. The same studio they created to make that Black Panther game, which has never shipped a game. And then that closes the game, so they don't even know if the studio's any good. And they've shut them down.
And they've also started. Started shuttering some more of Codemasters. So the last Codemasters is basically proper dead now.
They used to be champion.
Absolutely, and they still
Colin McRae rally and that.
Absolutely, No.
Actually, hang on, they were like cannon fodder in that as well. Well, that was a good studio. Anyway, so you have to run them by a Switch. That's a couple others. They can wait. They're not that important. A bit of retro stuff.
I mean, anything with Bubble Bobble, I'm always keen on.
Okay, well, Evercade. I'm a big fan of Evercade by Blaze. You've seen their bar top
Yeah.
arcade things. Well, they've announced during the week a Tato one, a Bubble Bobble one.
Yeah.
Tato then, yeah, Bubble Bobble one. So basically, it's got a Bubble Bobble marquee on it and everything. Yeah, so I did see that. So that's pretty cool. So
if you want to talk about like my favorite classic game franchise from that era, it's probably Bubble Bobble. I love Bubble Bobble. I'm bad at it, but I still love the game.
Yeah, they used to have it in the uni, CAF area.
Yeah.
So anytime we were in the CAF area at the uni, which was most of the time.
Yeah.
When lectures on, we just the Bubble Bobble music. It's like I suppose for the younger kids, the Wii shop music on everything.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's it. You are desperate to go buy a Switch.
Yeah, which I've got half an hour left, and then I'm out of here. So he's gone. I'll catch up with him.
He's gone. Oh, he ran. Okay, so you've been ditched already. So let's wrap up.
If this comes up before Sunday the 8th, we'll have Glitch on Sunday the 8th, and then I'm in Japan.
That was a dig at me for not launching the podcast all the time.
I did say that. Yeah. And then I did see. So and then I can record one next week on Thursday for you, just for your reference.
Then you're pissing off.
And then I'm off for 10 days, and then I'm back, and then I'm off again for 3 days, and then I'm now, instead of going to Portugal in July, I'm potentially in Denmark.
I'm going to forget all. You'll like the joint.
So I'm a very busy boy. So maybe we'll record a double up if there's like an episode we can think of to do on Thursday.
Well, I've got a little bit of stuff left over. That's fine. You run by a Switch, enjoy it, and tell us all about it next podcast.
We will see you guys then. See you later.